Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Hopefully your day has been good. Welcome to Learn to Write SciFi. This whole series is to help you become an actual, bona fide, self-published author. All right, so hopefully you've started writing and you're moving forward with that. And I was thinking, we haven't covered the ending of your short story. If you have not been following along, the whole idea behind this is to help everybody watching become a self-published author through Amazon Kindle. There's many other options. That's just the one that I'm going to take everybody through. You can choose to use any other outlet you wish. But we've been going through the process with the outlines, with the plot, with everything. But the ending is important. Now, I've been doing some personal research, trying to continually add to myself. I've been reading a couple of different platform books for authors specifically, platform books for authors, and then also started to listen to some podcasts, trying to continually add to myself, to better myself so that, I can be a better businessman, a better business owner, and then also just a better writer, and marketing is a big deal. I did a poll the other day with trying to ask authors or, would-be authors what they consider to be the most difficult thing for them, whether that was the business side of writing or the actual creative side of writing. And it was like 75, 77% work all the way for business. And a lot of the responses that most people had was marketing. So if a lot of other authors are having that problem, then obviously I need to spend more time educating myself, because that's collectively us as a industry, as far as the performers in the industry. If that's a struggle for a lot of us, then that's the area I want to make sure that I'm strong in, right? And just help you be able to have a better competitive edge. So with endings, with the short story, it kind of depends. I wanted to ask, and maybe you don't even know, hopefully you do because you did the outline, but if you're kind of going by the seat of your pants a little bit, the ending, I personally prefer endings to be one of two ways. One, the ending is very clear. Like, it is the main plot, maybe not some of the subplots, the main plot is completely finished and completely concluded. If the main plot is not, I'm usually kind of upset. Unless it ends on a cliffhanger on purpose for part 2 or some other sequel. If you're only going to write this one short story as far as ever in this particular set of characters and story and everything, I would make sure that the ending is finalized. Like, everybody knows what happened. If you're thinking, I might actually do a part 2, then by all means, you should consider leaving it a little bit of a cliffhanger. I don't necessarily like it when it completely ends straight up, like mid-sentence or something like that, and you're like, oh, okay, now I got to read the next one, because, it literally ended in the middle of a thought. It wasn't even finished. That can be kind of annoying. And I know some authors like that because they do, like, serial series where they're every story builds on each other. You kind of have to read the last one in order to know what's going on in this one, and then obviously the ending leads you into the next one, and they kind of do that there's a lot of television shows that do the exact same thing. Walking Dead is a very poor / good example of, and there's a lot of drama and action in the beginning, the hook, and that's kind of really freaking boring in the middle, and then it picks back up to being like super exciting, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to know what's going to happen, until enough of the viewers kind of get sick of that, and then you end up losing a bunch of viewers. So myself, I like to know, like I said, one of two things. It's either very clear or it ends on a cliffhanger on purpose, but it's not super severe cliffhanger. Like, make it tasteful. And you might mess it up here and there with different stories and projects and experimenting with it. It's okay. But, some people end things in a really, really bad way. And I have to be careful of this myself, because I have grown up. I don't know why. It's just kind of how I'm wired. I'm kind of vague. So I'm kind of forcing myself as I get older to be specific and to be able to make a clear decision and add detail to the conversation, rather than just being kind of ambiguous and that word, and and vague. But I would, like I said, my advice is if you're only going to write this one short story, maybe you want to go with other characters after, make sure that the main plot is finished, make sure the main story is concluded, that the reader can finish it and feel satisfaction in at least knowing that the story was over. They don't feel like they kind of got cheated and they spent all that time reading a story, maybe even enjoying a character, to then have the author just kind of just like, and it's over. And you're like, well, wait, we didn't finish. So I would try to make sure to wrap that up. That would just be my thing. I know some people probably like leaving it, you know, creative and mysterious and stuff, and I don't like that. I talked about it in one of the other videos where, you know, I like it where the writer or the director or whomever is creating that piece of entertainment, that they finalize it, because I want to know as the audience, as a viewer, what was their intention in the story. And then I can judge it from there whether or not I liked it or not, or whether I thought it was a good ending or a bad ending. But if you end it in such a way that you're like, it's left up to the reader to decide what happens, or it's left up to the viewers, I don't like that. Because then it kind of puts a lot more of the creative aspect back on you, and you didn't create the characters, you didn't decide the setting, you didn't do the plot, you didn't decide who lives and who dies. So why should you, as the viewer or as the reader, finish it? You had no part in the process leading up to the end, yet at the end they want to just hand it to you and say, you decide. That to me is a cheap trick, and that to me sounds like they weren't very confident on what ending they should go with, and then they kind of just cheaped out at the end and just said, well, we'll let them decide. You know, I think that's just, you can call it artistic, you can call it creative liberty, whatever you want to call it. I think it's cheap, I think it's weak, and I don't think it's needed, because I think it's better for the viewer and the readers to understand what you meant, and then to be able to make the decisions from there. But anyway, if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, it is Learn to Write Sci-Fi, and then on YouTube, it is White Light Media. I'm still working on things on the background for stuff that I'm trying to launch. I have this file that I'm working on to help you guys, but my computer has been kind of locked down all day today with recording some stuff for somebody that was out of town. They need me to record something. I was like, oh my gosh, my whole computer is like the whole day. But anyway, talk to you guys all again tomorrow, and keep writing. Yeah, you. Talk to you. Yeah, no. Yeah, you.